I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. Orange County Executive Ed Diana is meeting with members of the county legislature late today in an attempt to convince them to support his revised plan involving construction of a new county government center to replace the now closed Goshen structure. Diana provided a sneak preview of his $75 million new build proposal during last Thursday's State of the County address. County executive will need 14 legislators to approve the plan in order to move it forward. Look for a reaction here at Record Online and from reporter Chris McKenna in Tuesday's Times-Herald Record. Divers with the Coast Guard have been at work evaluating the status of a retired Staten Island ferry boat that has partially sunk and is currently listing on the Newburgh waterfront. The ferry, the Governor Herbert Lehman, is moored at the Steelways shipyard. It began taking on water Friday, bringing an assortment of emergency personnel to the scene. The Coast Guard reports that the ferry did not contain any fuel and that its current situation poses no spillage threat to the Hudson River. The divers will attempt to figure out why it developed a leak and how it can be salvaged. There was no immediate word on how long the retired Staten Island ferry boat had been docked at the Newburgh shipyard. Reporter Jeremiah Horgan will have more here at Record Online and in tomorrow's Times-Herald Record. Tomorrow is the scheduled sentencing day for Michael Miley, the town of Wallkill man who pleaded guilty in January to a manslaughter charge for the killing of Laura Garza back in December of 2008. Miley had filed his guilty plea to first-degree manslaughter and evidence tampering as his murder trial was about to begin. The convicted sex offender is expected to get a negotiated 23-year prison sentence when he appears in Judge Nicholas DeRosa's Orange County courtroom Tuesday morning. Elsewhere, a Newburgh teen faces felony assault and weapons possession charges following a large disturbance and fight Saturday night in the town of Wallkill involving more than 100 people. 19-year-old Turgod Dubuson was also charged with menacing during the fight that broke out outside the Howard Johnson's motel, bringing town police as well as state police, Middletown City Police, Goshen Police, and the Orange County Sheriff's Department to the scene in order to help disperse the crowd. No word on what touched off the dispute and fights. A second person, 41-year-old Jonathan Mess of Scotchtown, was arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct. Verizon could be on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines for not meeting timeliness of repair guidelines that have been set up by the State Public Service Commission. The PSC is considering a fine of $400,000 against Verizon for failing to meet service quality standards late last year when Verizon reduced its workforce following Hurricane Irene and Tropical Storm Lee. Verizon has 21 days from the February 17th PSC order to show why the fine shouldn't be imposed. Reporter James Walsh will have the complete story in an upcoming edition of the Times-Herald Record. Well, Sullivan County's #1 when it comes to last year's black bear hunt. The state DEC reports that 133 bears were killed by hunters in Sullivan. That's the largest number in the state. 130 were taken in Ulster County, 98 in Orange County. More than 1,200 black bears were killed by hunters during the hunt last year across the state. And an estimated 4,000 railroad buffs came to check out the Greenberg Toy and Train Show over the weekend at the Orange County Fairgrounds Arena. Trains of all shapes and sizes were put on display for enthusiasts to enjoy. Big floor display featured trains set up by the Hudson Valley Large Scale Club. Their president says a visit to the show gets hobbyists re-energized.
I guarantee if they haven't used the set in a little while, after today they'll be going home and they'll be digging the set back out and starting to play and starting to buy some more. So it's a little addictive, but it's fun, and that's what it's all about. And it's a family-oriented hobby. So, like I said, anybody from this small to this high enjoys it. So, you know, just fun.
Besides checking out the various train models in motion, The show also offered visitors a chance to pick up train cars or related merchandise to add to their collection. Robert Sandbothy from the Maybrook Railroad Museum has been involved in the hobby for more than 50 years. He says you're never ever done collecting.
Always somebody is trying to make it bigger, and a lot of times a modeler is not looking just when they go to look at a house, they look to see how big the basement is, to how big their train layout would be. And it's always never done.
And not all the toys on exhibit at the fairgrounds ran on train tracks. A few of them went airborne. There isn't any inclement March weather on our immediate future. Tuesday will be partly sunny but chilly, with temperatures not expected to get much higher than 40 degrees. Wednesday will be mostly sunny and milder, with temperatures climbing into the low to mid 50s. Get a complete wrap-up of all the day's news, weather, and sports in tomorrow's Times-Herald Record. And when news breaks, you will find it here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.